Nigeria is heating up ahead of 2027. Peter Obi says your votes will count, and Nasir El-Rufai has just dropped a bombshell about Bola Ahmed Tinubu's future plans. If you think 2023 was tough, 2027 will be a battlefield. Stay with me, because this is going to shock you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more breaking news and interesting stories. Peter Obi has not declared his ambition yet, but his words are already shaking the political ground. Nigerians are still recovering from the painful experience of 2023, when many felt that their votes did not matter, when the promises of electoral reform appeared broken, and when frustration swallowed the energy of young and old who had lined up at polling units with so much hope. It is against that heavy memory that Peter Obi stood up and told Nigerians something different, that 2027 will not be business as usual. In his words, he sent out a clear message: for those who think our votes won't count, we will make them count. Enough is enough. That short statement is more than political talk. It is a direct challenge to the system, and it is a promise to Nigerians that the mistakes of the past must never be repeated. When Obi spoke, he did not only address his supporters. He was speaking to the millions who felt betrayed in the last election, those who asked themselves whether democracy in Nigeria still had meaning, and those who began to wonder if casting a vote was just an empty ritual. His words carried weight because he reminded Nigerians that power still lies with them if only they are bold enough to use it. The truth is this: many Nigerians have lost trust in the electoral process. From ballot box snatching, to intimidation, to sudden failures of technology, to results that seem to change overnight, people have grown tired of being told to accept and move on. Obi's assurance strikes at the heart of this distrust. By declaring that votes will count, he is not only promising reform, he is calling for vigilance, courage, and unity. Now, let's be clear. Peter Obi has not officially announced that he will contest in 2027. He has not stood on a podium to say, "I am running for president again." But his words are already preparing the ground. They are like the sound of a drum before a festival. They awaken hope, they challenge fear, and they tell people that something bigger is coming. The question many Nigerians are asking is simple: how will the votes count this time? And the answer, from Obi's tone, is also simple: because the people will make it count. This means that Nigerians cannot afford to sit back. They cannot afford to cast their votes and then go home to sleep, hoping for miracles. They will have to be active, watchful, and ready to defend the process with their voices and their presence. History shows that when citizens rise and insist on fairness, change happens. Across the world, governments that looked untouchable were brought down when people refused to be silenced. In Nigeria too, moments of people power have rewritten the story of the nation. From the June 12 struggle to the End SARS protests, Nigerians have shown that when they are united, no force can erase their will. Obi is tapping into that spirit, reminding everyone that the ballot can still be the most powerful weapon if guarded with determination. But his statement also serves as a warning to those planning to manipulate the system. By saying we will make them count, Obi is telling them that Nigerians are not blind, not deaf, and not powerless. It is a way of saying that the old tricks may not work anymore, because the people are watching. It is also a way of telling young Nigerians that they have a duty to protect their future, that apathy is no longer an option, and that silence will only hand power back to the very people they complain about every day. In reality, the 2027 election will be more than just a contest between candidates. It will be a battle between hope and fear, between truth and propaganda, between the people's desire for change and the system's desire to remain the same. Obi's words set the tone for that battle, giving Nigerians a sense of direction even before any official declaration. One can argue that Obi's greatest power right now is not in any political structure or party machinery, but in the trust and belief that millions still have in him. When he speaks, people listen. When he assures, people are comforted. And when he challenges, people are stirred. This is what makes his statement about votes counting so powerful. It is not just a political promise, it is a rallying cry. For Nigerians who are tired of broken promises, Obi's words are a reminder that democracy is not dead. For those who feel their votes were stolen in 2023, his words are an assurance that 2027 can be different. For the young voter who is considering giving up, his statement is a call to stand up again. The energy of his message lies in its simplicity. He did not speak with big grammar. He did not speak in complicated political terms. He simply told Nigerians that their votes will count if they make them count. And sometimes, that is all people need to hear, a clear voice in the middle of confusion, a simple message in the middle of noise. As the nation slowly moves toward another election season, Obi's assurance may become one of the most repeated phrases in political discussions. Whether he declares or not, whether he runs or not, his words have already started shaping the conversation. Nigerians now know that 2027 cannot be left to chance. The people must take ownership of the process. And that is why his statement matters. It is not just about Peter Obi. It is about the ordinary Nigerian voter. It is about the farmer in the village, the student in the university, the trader in the market, and the worker in the office. It is about telling them that their voices are not useless, that their votes are not toys, and that their future is not for sale. When he said, "Enough is enough," it was not only about politics. It was about dignity. It was about saying that Nigerians deserve better, and that the only way to get better is to insist on it. So, Chapter 1 is clear: Peter Obi has lit a fire in the hearts of Nigerians. He has reminded them that their votes can count. And in a country where hope often feels weak, that simple assurance has become a source of new strength. Nigeria's politics has never been a clean game. Everyone knows that elections here are not only about the ballot boxes, they are also about influence, media control, and the stories told to the people. That is why reports that the APC is already setting up a propaganda unit for 2027 cannot be ignored. It may sound like a rumor, but in politics, propaganda is as real as rallies, campaigns, and manifestos. It shapes how people think, how they feel, and how they vote. The ruling party understands one thing clearly: if they control the narrative, they can control the people. By narrative, we mean the stories, the headlines, the social media posts, the TV debates, the WhatsApp messages, and the constant flow of information that hits Nigerians every single day. The person who controls these stories controls how voters see reality. This is the silent battle that begins long before a single ballot is cast. Let us be honest, Nigerians are heavily influenced by information. Some may not have the patience to study manifestos or policies, but they will quickly believe what they hear repeatedly, especially if it comes from voices they trust. This is where propaganda steps in. It doesn't need to be true, it only needs to be loud, persistent, and emotional. That is why APC is preparing early. They know the power of perception. They know that if they can convince people that opposition voices are weak, divided, or untrustworthy, they have already won half the battle. But here is the twist: Peter Obi and his supporters also know this game. They know that APC's so-called propaganda unit is designed to weaken morale, to make people feel that change is impossible, and to convince Nigerians that the 2023 experience will only repeat itself. That is why Obi's statement about votes counting is so important. It was not only directed at voters, it was also a counterattack to propaganda before it even starts. Think about it: what is the easiest way to weaken a democracy? You don't need guns, you don't even need violence. All you need is to convince people that their votes don't matter. Once citizens believe that lie, they will stop voting, stop caring, and stop defending their future. That is the exact plan propaganda seeks to achieve: silence through doubt. And that is exactly what Obi's assurance is fighting against. Let us picture the situation clearly. On one side, the ruling party is preparing messages that will dominate the media, messages that will paint them as the only stable option, messages that may try to ridicule or divide the opposition, and messages that will try to discourage the average voter. On the other side, Obi and the movement around him are telling Nigerians to resist, to believe in their power, and to stand united. It is a clash between confidence and confusion, between truth and manipulation. This hidden battle will not be fought on election day alone. It is happening already, in the whispers, in the headlines, in the arguments on Twitter, in the videos forwarded on WhatsApp groups, and in the constant conversations at street corners. Every statement, every press release, every media campaign is a bullet in this war of influence. And whoever wins this war will have a huge advantage in 2027. But there is something different about the mood in Nigeria today. After the frustration of 2023, many people have learned their lesson. They now know that propaganda can be powerful, but they also know it can be resisted. They have seen lies dressed as truth, and they have felt the pain of watching promises collapse before their eyes. This awareness is a weapon. It means that in 2027, propaganda may not have the same easy victory it once enjoyed. Still, let's not underestimate the challenge. The system is strong. It has money, it has connections, it has control of institutions, and it has experience. For decades, propaganda has been part of Nigeria's politics. It is not new, and it is not going away. But what can defeat it is an informed, determined, and united people. That is why Obi's words are more than motivational, they are strategic. By telling Nigerians your votes will count, he is attacking the root of propaganda. He is refusing to let doubt take control. The hidden battle is also about timing. By setting up a propaganda machine this early, APC is telling everyone that 2027 is already on their mind. They are not waiting until campaigns officially start. They are preparing to dominate every conversation long before ballots are printed. This is what makes the moment critical. Opposition forces cannot afford to sleep while the ruling party is already shaping the narrative. And so, Nigerians must understand that propaganda is not just about politics, it is about control of the mind. It is about deciding whether you will believe what is fed to you, or whether you will demand the truth. It is about refusing to let fear or lies decide your vote. And in the end, it is about protecting your voice, not only at the ballot box but also in the daily conversations that lead to it. If Obi's words are to mean anything, they must be backed by action, not only from him, but from ordinary Nigerians. People must fact-check before sharing, must challenge lies when they hear them, and must support platforms that promote truth. Because if propaganda is left unchecked, it can bury even the loudest assurance. This is why Chapter 2 is called the hidden battle. Because while rallies and campaigns will be visible, the real struggle will be unseen, in the media, in the conversations, in the minds of Nigerians. And make no mistake, whoever wins this hidden battle will walk into 2027 with a powerful advantage. In Nigerian politics, it is rare for strong politicians to abandon the ruling camp and join forces with the opposition. Most times, they choose to remain close to power, enjoying the comfort and influence it provides. But Nasir El-Rufai has taken a different path. He is no longer standing with APC. He has joined the ADC coalition, which Peter Obi is also a part of, and this single move has changed the conversation completely. When El-Rufai speaks now, he does so not as a loyal defender of the ruling party but as a man who has crossed over, carrying with him insider knowledge, political experience, and the boldness to speak truths that many still fear to say. And recently, he said something that has thrown fire into the already heated political atmosphere: if Nigerians do not end Tinubu's regime by 2027, he may attempt to stay in power for life, just like Paul Biya of Cameroon. This was not an empty statement. It was not the kind of line you hear during casual political arguments. It was a warning from someone who has been at the center of government for years. El-Rufai knows the system inside and out. He has seen how leaders think, how they plan, and how they cling to power. By saying Tinubu may want to remain president for life, he is telling Nigerians to prepare, to wake up, and to understand what is at stake in 2027. The comparison with Paul Biya of Cameroon was not accidental. Biya has ruled his country since 1982, refusing to step aside, rewriting rules, and crushing opposition. The result is a nation trapped in political darkness for over 40 years. By placing Tinubu's name beside Biya's, El-Rufai was sending a clear signal: if Nigerians do not rise in 2027, if they allow themselves to be silenced, they may find themselves locked in a similar cycle of endless rule. Now, let us think carefully about why this statement matters even more, because El-Rufai is now in the ADC coalition. First, it shows that opposition voices are not only growing stronger but are also gaining powerful reinforcements. El-Rufai is not a small figure in Nigerian politics. He is known as a strategist, a man who has played roles in shaping governments, and someone who understands how power is built and maintained. For him to leave APC and join the coalition means the ruling party is not as solid as it once appeared. It shows cracks within the system, and cracks are opportunities. Second, El-Rufai's warning does not stand alone. It connects directly to Peter Obi's message that Nigerians must protect their votes in 2027. Obi is giving hope, reminding people that their voices can matter. El-Rufai is adding fire, warning that failure to act could trap the nation under one man's grip. Together, their voices strengthen each other. Hope and caution are now marching side by side. This coalition is beginning to look less like a gathering of politicians and more like a united front of urgency. Obi appeals to the ordinary Nigerian voter who feels neglected. El-Rufai appeals to those who understand the danger of unchecked power. When their messages come together, it creates a new kind of energy. Nigerians are being told, in clear language, that 2027 will not just be about changing a government, it will be about saving democracy itself. El-Rufai's move into the coalition also sends fear into APC's camp. Because when a man who once defended you now stands against you, he becomes even more dangerous. He knows the strategies, he knows the weaknesses, and he knows how to counter the very tools that APC has used in the past. This is why his warning about Tinubu cannot be dismissed as mere politics. It is both a statement and a strategy, a way of alerting Nigerians while also shaking the confidence of the ruling party. For ordinary Nigerians, the message is simple: if you do not want a president-for-life situation, you must act now. You must prepare to vote, prepare to defend that vote, and prepare to resist every attempt to weaken your voice. El-Rufai is not only talking to politicians, he is talking to students, to traders, to workers, to professionals, to everyone who wants a better country. He is reminding them that the cost of silence is always heavier than the cost of action. It is also important to recognize what this coalition means in practical terms. By joining forces, Obi, El-Rufai, and others in the ADC coalition are trying to build a bridge across different parts of Nigeria. Obi carries the trust of millions who believe in his vision of a new Nigeria. El-Rufai carries influence from the north and respect as a man who has been inside the corridors of power. Together, they are showing Nigerians that unity is possible, and that even people from very different political backgrounds can come together when the nation's future is at risk. In many ways, El-Rufai's decision to blow hot and speak so openly about Tinubu is also a test of courage. In Nigerian politics, speaking against a sitting president can bring pressure, intimidation, or even political isolation. But he has chosen to take that risk. And in doing so, he has sent a signal that more politicians may follow. The coalition is not just an opposition movement, it is becoming a rallying point for everyone who fears the return of authoritarian rule in disguise. The truth is this: if Tinubu's presidency extends beyond 2027 in a way that undermines democracy, the dream of a free Nigeria will grow dimmer. El-Rufai knows this. Obi knows this. And increasingly, ordinary Nigerians are beginning to know it too. That is why the battle for 2027 is not just political. It is existential. It will decide whether Nigeria continues as a true democracy or slips into the hands of endless rule. El-Rufai has blown hot, and his fire is now part of the coalition's flame. Together with Obi's assurance that votes will count, the message is clear: 2027 is the people's last chance to protect their future. Whether Nigerians will take that chance remains the biggest question.